as a course creator or as someone who is selling your expertise as a coach, a consultant, whatever, it's very important that you advertise. But more important than advertising is that you choose to advertise in the right place. So what we're going to talk about right now is, where should you be advertising? The other day, I was talking to somebody who said, I'm going to be advertising on TikTok. And I said, great. Why? And she says, because that's where my audience is. But I said, well, that's one factor. It's not the only factor when you're making this decision. So yes, you definitely want to be advertising where your audience is. But here's the more important thing. Even if your audience is someplace, you need to pay attention to where your audience is looking for your type of product. You see, the type of product this person was selling is not something that people are looking for when they're on TikTok. They're interested in watching people dance. They're interested in laughing. They're interested in entertainment. They're interested in sexual lusting after people. They're interested in a bunch of things, but they were not interested in what it is that she has to sell. And so even though a higher percentage of her audience is on TikTok, it's not very likely that they are going to actually want to buy what she has to sell from an ad that runs on TikTok. You've got two elements that happen here. The first one is this concept of mindset fit. So the higher their expectation is that while they are on that particular platform, that they are thinking about what it is that you have to sell, then the more likely you are going to sell on that. The opposite of that is this concept of interruption factor, which is the less likely that they are actually thinking about what it is that you have to sell while they're on that platform, the higher the interruption factor is of that ad. And the higher the interruption factor, the more like bad ratings, lower, I don't want to see this ad, the higher the I don't want to see this ad, all those negative ad rating kinds of things significantly increase when you increase the interruption factor of that ad. And that interruption factor, here's a graph that indicates this. So the higher the mindset fit, the lower the interruption factor. The lower the mindset fit, the higher the interruption factor. And anytime you're in a situation where you have a low mindset fit and a high interruption factor, your ad is probably not going to do very well. And what that means is that your ad is going to end up costing you more and more as time goes on, as that platform says, hey, we'll happily take your money, but we're only going to take your money in exchange for a lot of money to show it to my audience. So that concept of mindset fit and interruption factor is a really important thing to consider. So let's talk about where you, as a course creator, as a coach, consultant, and someone in the expert marketplace, should be thinking about advertising. Even if you're not actually advertising right now, you probably got it on your mind because you know you should be doing it to build a list. You know you should be doing it to sell stuff. You just maybe can't afford it yet. Totally understand. So let's talk about these platforms so that you're thinking about them as you get the money to do it. So right now, as much as I may dislike saying this, the number one place to be advertising right now is probably still Facebook. It's going to probably deliver you the lowest cost of conversion of the different ad platforms out there. Second is probably YouTube. I've talked about YouTube in the past. You probably should be testing it. Probably don't want to put a huge amount of money into it unless you've got a huge amount of money to put into it. This next one may surprise you, but if you go back to this graph of interruption factor versus mindset fit, there's a huge mindset fit and low interruption factor with Google. So if someone is Googling your particular topic and looking for someone to sell them what it is that you sell, there's a very low interruption factor. There's a very high mindset fit. And so Google, though it tends to be higher dollars per conversion, you tend to get great conversions out of it when you do that. Now, I'm going to give you some possibilities. A possible Instagram. The problem with Instagram is that Instagram is much like the TikTok thing that I was telling you before. People are usually not on Instagram to buy stuff unless it's clothing, fashion, makeup, travel, those kinds of things. The kind of stuff that we sell, it's pretty rare to find someone in a high mindset fit situation for that on Instagram. A possibility is LinkedIn. So if your audience is a business to business kind of audience, they're very possibly on LinkedIn. The problem is LinkedIn ads tend to be about triple the price that they ought to be. Microsoft has gotten way greedy, and they've really hurt themselves by way overpricing their ads on LinkedIn, but it may work for you. Another possibility is Pinterest, especially if you have something that is woman focused, that is focused on improving their life in some way. Pinterest can be an incredibly powerful area. Also, if you're selling e-commerce kinds of things, Pinterest can be very possible. And again, possibly, there's a concept called Google AdSense Network. So if you Google Audience Network, excuse me. So think about this as AdSense, the old AdSense. So basically, you're able to go and pick the sites that you want your ads to go run on. It's going to cost you more than running run of network, where you just say, show my ad anywhere. That show my ad anywhere, maybe end up with that ad running on a video game or on a forum or possibly even a porn site. And so you have to be careful with the Google Audience Network, but Google Audience Network can be one of the most efficient ways to get buyers. A lot depends on your particular product and what it is you sell. Okay, let's talk now. Where should you not be advertising? So I'm making vast generalizations here in everything that I've said. You may have a reason why your favorite one has not been on that list. You may have a reason why you should be doing it, and that's great. You can totally ignore everything I say. I give you total permission to do that. But as a general rule, a course creator, coach, consultant who coaches consultants courses on normal topics. Yes, if you do something on fashion, then yes, you should probably be on the Instagrams, on the Pinterests, maybe even on the TikToks. But if you're talking about leadership or meditation or how to make money or something like that, maybe not. Okay. So one place you probably should not be is TikTok. I know everyone's talking about TikTok right now. Show me people who are not in a fashion-oriented industry. The industries I just talked about that's really nailing on TikTok, I'll be really surprised. And some of those it's working because it's a surprise factor, which is going to go down considerably as TikTok puts more and more ads on it. Snapchat is another one. Same argument. Now, it is one of the things I keep seeing is like Hulu is trying to get us to advertise on TV, on their TV network. Probably not right for most of us, just because the tremendous amount of cost that is wasted showing on TV. Radio is another one. Unless you've got something that can specifically run on a specific program and you're able to very tightly target, radio may not work for you. Possibly not print. So maybe a magazine that is highly targeted to your area, maybe a newspaper. The problem is, how often do you read like physical dead tree stuff these days? It's getting tougher and tougher to do well with advertising in print. The jury's out on Amazon. we still haven't quite figured out what's going on with Amazon ads. Absolutely. If you're advertising a Kindle book or something that's selling on Amazon, you definitely should be doing Amazon. But if you're selling a course that you probably can't be selling on Amazon because they don't allow downloadables, then the jury's out on it and you may want to test it. So there's a list of a bunch of places. And yes, there are some more places that you can advertise. You can advertise on Outbrain, those kinds of things. I'm not trying to be exhaustive here. What I'm trying to say is you, as a person who is in the selling your knowledge business, have certain places where you probably ought to be and certain places where you probably ought not to be. I don't care how fashionable it is, how one of your friends got some success with it, those kinds of things. I caution you, unless you got a bunch of money and you've proven your ad on a Facebook and those kinds of things, to maybe stay away from some of those other places for now. As they mature, 3 months, 6 months from now, this list may change. I'll let you know if I see those kinds of changes. But for right now, today, that's the list that I would give you. All right? So what's your experience with this? What have you found that's worked? Where am I wrong? Where am I right? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.